Good morning, everybody. It's me, Michaela Fadovic, and I am the broker owner of Elite Class Property Management and Real Estate Company. I hope that you guys are doing good. Today, I have woken up and decided that I want problems. I like problems. And I say this because I am here now to help you resolve your problems. Now, I want to help you guys choose agents, brokers, mentors, and property managers well, because I have had my fair share of experience and I'm still gaining more experience with shitty agents, shitty brokers, shitty property managers, and shitty real estate companies. And this is just going to be like a really good opportunity for you guys to learn some red flags through me, and maybe you've experienced some of them, because I can guarantee that if you're in this market enough, you've probably at least experienced this shit 20 times for each one. Number one, you submit an offer to an agency and the agency just ghosts you. Like, they literally are like, oh yeah, we received your offer, we're going to give you a call back tomorrow. And then all of a sudden it's been a week and now you still haven't heard from them. You've sent 10 text messages, called them, left voicemails, and emailed them. Then all of a sudden a week later they say, oh, sorry, yeah, the seller went with somebody else. Bitch, no fucking shit. Did you even submit my offer? Was there anything? Like, this is a red flag. Don't work with this company. Leave them a shitty review and tell them to go fuck themselves, okay? Very simple. Very, very, very simple. This one annoys me the hell because I have dealt with it on so many occasions, okay? And if an agency does this, avoid them like the fucking plague, okay? Fuck them. Fuck them. Number two, let's say that your agent, broker, fucking company is over explaining something, okay? If you are a professional in this industry, you can explain something very, very simply and you don't have to go into too much detail. The only reason that you would go into too much detail is because it's something very elaborate, okay? So let's say you ask your agent, what is a 1031 exchange? And all of a sudden they're going into like a million fucking things, and then it's like, it didn't really make sense. They give you a big explanation, but it didn't make sense. Like, it all reacted. It was not like, it wasn't making any sense. You know for a fact that if an agent is good, they're going to be able to simplify it for you and not like be vague, because that's also another red flag. But they're going to be able to simply put it into a context that you're going to be able to understand, because they already understand it to a T. Okay, so just asking them a very simple question about something that a professional should and would know. Very simple. The next red flag would have to be if your agent, especially if your agent, has to continuously go back to their broker and ask them something. That is a red flag that shows that they are not experienced, and I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't be working with them. You should not be working with new agents as an experienced buyer or even a new home buyer, because I'm going to tell you, newer agents don't know how to do shit, and it's just the fucking cold hard truth. Their broker should be holding their hand and should be a part of the transaction the entire time. Next red flag. Let's say that your agent or your broker or the company that you're working with tries to tell you that you have to sign an exclusive agency with them so that they're representing you as a buyer's agent. Okay, this is not the red flag. But now let's say that they're telling you that the contract says something that it doesn't. Okay, let's say, for example, you see this. This was an actual contract that one of my my companies I was working with tried to get me to sign. Okay, and I'm going to see if you guys can notice what the red flag is. If you didn't realize what it was, it says very, very simply that I, the buyer, will pay the agency 3% in addition to whatever the MLS is being offered. So that means that my agent will benefit 6% off of my transaction. Now, if you're familiar enough with the transaction in real estate, usually what happens is buyer's agents are always compensated by the sellers and or the listing agents, depending on how many people are in the transaction, if it's on market or off market. Okay. When your agent is working with you on market and they have you sign one of these things and it says that they are requiring you to pay them in addition to the MLS where the seller is represented by an agent, that's a massive red flag, and they're actually costing you an extra 3% off of your transaction at closing. So think of it like if you are buying something, you know, for $100,000, let's just make it simple. They are making you pay them an extra $3,000 at the closing table, and they didn't give a fuck about you, okay? That means that they actually did not even really care about your fiduciary duty, unless you agreed to this and you actually understood what the hell you were signing. But 9 times out of 10, most people don't. I asked my husband, and even he said that he didn't understand what was going on and why I was so upset, and it was very simple. No one should be requiring buyers to pay them in addition when the buyer's already paying $500,000 for a fucking property. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Unless it's already agreed to and it's off market, totally understandable. But on market transactions, not okay, not cool, not acceptable. And you can ask almost every single good agent and good brokerage company out there, they will agree. Absolutely not. Why would you do that? You're costing your client, not your customer, your client, thousands of dollars in addition at the closing. It's great that you made $3,000, but you just lost a client for the rest of your life. Like, it's very simple. Stay away from agencies and brokerages that do this to you and try to lock you into a buyer's agency agreement. I can tell you 9 times out of 10, most people do not require buyer's agency agreements at all, because if you're working with them on market, there's nothing to worry about. They're going to get paid. If you're off market, then yes, absolutely, especially like for commercial stuff. Personally, like I would have my clients sign a buyer's agency agreement with me on specific properties, promising me anywhere from 1% to 3% off of like a commercial transaction that was off market that I found and I acquired for them, because I went and I did the work and I found it for them. Poor communication skills is another one. So let's say that you're communicating with your agent and you're telling them, hey, I really don't like this, and I want this to be like this. And they say, oh, it's okay, pat on the back. That's a huge red flag, okay? Your agent's job and your broker's job and your mentor's job is to listen to you and to be able to guide you and hear you out, okay? They are supposed to put what your needs are into action, okay? That's what a good broker and agent will do. A bad agent will pat you on the back and tell you to shut the fuck up, basically. For example, I was trying to buy a property in Pennsylvania. I don't have my license there. I'm a licensed broker, as all of you guys already know. So I'm not new to this, okay? And I had an agent completely disregard what I had told them. I plain out said to them, I said, I'm not comfortable with this. I would like to have everything closed out with due diligence within this amount of time by this time frame. Very simple, very easy. My agent said, okay, no problem. I completely understand. Didn't do anything. Literally patted me on the back, and I saw the red flag, like almost to the point where we were in the due diligence and time frame. And I said, you know, I told you like 5 days ago, I want to close due diligence out early. And I wanted all of what was being said in writing. And like, they didn't even care to try to get that in writing until the last day of our due diligence, and I canceled the deal because of that. Okay, you guys should be walking out of bad deals and bad agencies because of the fact that it will cost you thousands of dollars, for one, and for two, it's going to be very problematic because you're not going to be heard, you're not going to be represented well. Okay, you want good representation and you want good mentorship. Okay, you rely on the agents for them to be professional and to do their jobs, and that's what they're supposed to fucking do. So hold them to that standard and don't be afraid to tell them to get the fuck out. Okay, be aggressive. Be aggressive. Okay, seriously, be aggressive. The last one I want to go over is if your agent is like telling you that something does not look fishy when it does to you. Like, for example, when I was getting into real estate my first time and I was buying my first property ever, I relied heavily on an experienced, multi-million-dollar, high-producing agent to represent me well. And you want to know what they did? They walked me into unpermitted work. That was fun. Yeah. So I had a top producing agent do that, okay? And top producers are nothing special. I'm going to tell you this as a broker in this field that has over $180 million worth of experience. They are nothing. They're really not. They're probably dirt. I'm sorry. They're dirt on the ground. I apologize to most of you top producers. There's a few of them that are good at their job and good at representing their clients and actually take their job seriously. And those ones will know. The ones that get defensive over what I'm saying are going to probably be the ones that are sucking at their jobs. Sorry. But top producers are really nothing special. Okay? And what is a top producer, really? Like, there's always a top producer on top of a top producer of a top producer of a top producer. Like, I don't care. Okay? Just because you're a top producer doesn't mean you're a good agent. It doesn't mean you're a good broker. It doesn't mean that you know how to do your job. It just means that you know how to get a deal closed. And that's not always a good thing. I'm going to tell you that. I walked my clients out of probably hundreds of millions of dollars worth of transaction, okay? Because of the fact that I didn't want my clients to get in a bad transaction. Okay, you need an agent that's going to have your back, not who's just going to close a deal. All right, that is not a good mentality. I've worked with so many agents that do this. They're like, oh yeah, I'm great, and everybody buys into it. It's fucking fantastic. Like, everybody buys into it, and they're like, oh yeah, he's great, she's great, they're great, and then all of a sudden, like, they follow that agent's direction, and nothing happens, and now they're screwed. They bought $1 million property. They can't flip it for the $2 million like they were promised in a year. They are now stuck with unpermitted work. They can't get out. They're dealing with code enforcement violations. Like, the list goes on, okay? And it was all because they followed a top producer's guidance, and that person was just in it to close the deal. Okay, you'll be able to see a good agent from a bad agent just by testing them. Okay, so what you should do and what you can do to agents, and I have people do this to me all the time and I always pass, but if you bring them a deal and you're like, hey, is this a good deal, knowing what, like, the fact that it's not, and the agent goes, oh yeah, that's a great deal, man, like, oh yeah, buy it, it's like a $2 million deal, buy it. See how there was no thought process in that? I literally just walked my clients out of a $2 million deal. I told them, I said, don't buy that deal. Don't do it. Overpriced. They just bought it in a tax deed auction for like fucking anywhere from $3,000 to $60,000 max, but $3,000 to $20,000 maximum in the last auction per unit. It's a condo association. I told my client every little thing that they needed to know to be able to represent themselves best on the market. And they didn't buy it, okay? And that's good, because that's a bad deal. And I don't want my clients going into bad deals in a recession, especially in a declining market. This is all I really have for you guys. I hope that it's helpful. I hope that it guides you a little bit. I hope it gives you some insight. I'm always happy to kind of like help you guys interview agents and get connected with agents that aren't going to be super shady. I highly recommend to go onto Google and to do thorough research about agents, because it's very easy to find someone. And if you can't find somebody online, that's not a good sign, because I mean, a good agent has good presence, okay? There's good reputation there online for them. If your agent has 5 stars, that's a little bit questionable, just because of the fact that they can get their friends, their families, like, just to leave fake reviews. And 5 stars is not true, okay? Like, that means that they're a perfectionist, and I am sorry, but I've worked with almost every single agent that I know of that's like active in my market, and nobody's perfect, including me. I'm not perfect at all. Like, I am not even close to being perfect. Maybe perfect with a K. Like, if you misspelled perfect, I would be closer to that. But, you know what I'm saying? So don't go after the 5 stars. Go after the people who, like, actually have good reviews from real people that are leaving, like, genuine feedback and are like, oh yeah. And you can verify the fact that that's an actual person with a real photo. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's all I really got, guys. I hope this helps again. And if anything at all, give me a call, give me a text, give me an email. You can call, text me at 201-952-4665. You can email me at broker@localpmc.com. And if anything, you guys, just hit me up and I am happy to help. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Bye.